Hey everybody, Chris with Bear Outfitters here, and today I'm going to help you learn the 7 principles leave no trace. If this is the first time that you're learning about these, or you've never heard about them before, or I teach you something new during this video, be sure to like and subscribe so that I can catch you on the next video, and hopefully we can teach you a little bit something else. So without further ado, let's get into the 7 principles. So the first one, know before you go. Number 2, travel and camp on durable surfaces. You're going to make a little guy, you're going to travel and camp. Number 3, trash your trash. 3 fingers, 3 words, trash your trash. Number 4, leave what you find. So all you're taking is pictures. So you're going to make your own little frame here. Take only pictures. Number 5, be careful with fire. So you're going to make your own little fire. Or jazz hands. Fire. Number 6, be respectful of wildlife. So you're going to make 6 fingers, make your own little antlers. Be respectful of wildlife. And number 7, be considerate and courteous to others. So you're going to make your little peace sign. You're going to wave. Hi, friends. So why the 7 principles of leave no trace? The 7 principles of leave no trace work together to help us have a better outdoor experience for a longer time. So what that comes down to is if we follow the 7 principles of leave no trace, we can hopefully have a better backcountry experience now and in the future. Following these principles will help us be safer, it'll help us have a better time, and it will help preserve this land for future use. Now, it seems kind of silly that we have to talk about it because we should be able to do these things without being told. But so many people think that they're the exception to the rule. Well, I'll just take one little leaf. I'll just take one little rock. It won't make that big of a difference. I'll make a cairn. I'll make a this. I'll do a that. I'll paint with this. I'll do whatever. But learning that you're not the exception to the rule is really a part of growing up. And learning that you are helping others to preserve this property and preserve this land so that we can use it all together is really a selfless act. So learning and using the 7 principles of leave no trace really is a selfless way that you can share your love for the backcountry and for camping in general. So once again, I want to help you learn these principles so that you never have to learn them ever again. So let's go back through them again. Number 1, know before you go. What this comes down to is having a plan and preparing before you go. And that plan will help keep you safe, but also it helps other people know where you're going to be, and that way they can come find you if something happens to you. One of the things that I do before I ever go camping is I tell my wife or I tell a trusted friend, hey, we're going camping to such and such location. Here's the number of the ranger station. If you don't hear from me on Saturday at 12 o'clock, then you need to call them to let them know that I'm out there and I might be hurt. So having that plan and preparing and knowing what you're doing before you go will help you have the gear, help you be safe. It will help you be prepared for anything that might come up on your trip. So that one is really a no-brainer and you should be doing anyway. Number 2, travel and camp on durable surfaces. So learning to travel and camp on durable surfaces includes following already marked paths, not bushwhacking in areas where you shouldn't be, and camping in locations that have been approved or that are already existing campsites. If everybody went out and camped wherever the hell they wanted, eventually you get a situation where the entire park could be trashed. And that's really not a situation that we want to get into. So set up at campsites where you're supposed to be camping. If there's a permit system in place, follow the permit system, travel on the already existing paths, and don't go bushwhacking or switchbacking where you oughtn't. So once again, travel and camp on durable surfaces. Number 3, trash your trash. So disposing of your waste properly, whether that be your waste or your trash that you're bringing in with you, be sure that you're taking it out with you. Something that the Mountaineering Association has come out with is bring a plastic bag along with you. Eventually, after this COVID-19 thing dies down, we're going to be doing the hashtag gallon bag challenge, where you can bring a gallon bag with you into the backcountry and try and fill it up with any trash or small trash that you find along the way. I almost always bring a trash bag with me whenever I go out, and inevitably I fill up at least a half-gallon bag worth of trash that's not mine that I find in the backcountry. Everything from cigarette butts to dog bags. Really, there's tons of trash in the backcountry. So trashing your trash is being a responsible human being, and it's not being a jerk to other people that have to come along and pick up your stuff. One of my favorite camps is Garner State Park here in Texas. But the problem with it is every time I go up Old Baldy, there's tons of water bottles, and it's really a shame. So don't take your disposable water bottles into the backcountry and throw them off the edge. It's just irresponsible, and it makes you look like a jerk. So trash your trash. Number 4, leave what you find. So that's the camera one again. So leaving what you find means don't bring back souvenirs from the backcountry. I know that it's hard. I know that you want to have a memento or something to do with that trip. I know that it's really easy to want to have it. But in the age of smartphone where you can take a picture anywhere with anything, just take a picture. It'll last longer. You'll hopefully have that memory forever, and you can do with it whatever you want with it. So leave what you find. Don't bring back mementos from the trail, especially wildlife. That's going to go on again in number 6. But leave what you find behind. 5, be careful with fire. So being careful with fire means respecting burn bans. It means being careful in using already established fire rings. Now back east, I know that a lot of people like to use campfires to cook on. Out here in the Southwest, nearly nobody uses them, most of the time because we have burn bans in place. But being careful with fire means doing all the things that you should do to minimize campfire impacts. Here in the West, we have wildfires that destroy hundreds of millions of acres every couple of years. And we have situations like the Paradise, California fire, which led to millions and millions of dollars of property destruction. So being careful with fire is being super respectful to those around you, but also it's being safe. So be careful with fire, number 5. Number 6, respect wildlife. Every year there is somebody that gets gored by a bison in Yellowstone. Pretty much every year. They get too close when they take pictures, they get mauled by a bear, they do whatever, they're not respecting wildlife. Wildlife doesn't care that you're a human, and you can get hurt and will get hurt if you get too close to wildlife. I remember one time I was camping up in the Wasatch Mountains and a moose came right through my campsite and it freaked me out. Respecting wildlife means being cautious around them, knowing the situation, and again, planning ahead, which is number 1, to know what kind of wildlife you might encounter and how to deal with them if you run into them. So, respect wildlife. Number 7, be considerate of others. Being courteous is just good human nature. So do it. If you're out in the backcountry, don't be blaring your music louder than you need to be. Don't be doing anything that you oughtn't. Being courteous to others means being helpful. It means being kind. It means knowing that you're not the only person out there enjoying the day. So don't be selfish. Think about other people. Think, you know what? Will my drinking affect other people if they have to come and rescue me? Will my situation cause harm to others? Am I being a courteous and friendly person? Not everybody wants to listen to your music. Listen to it softly or listen to it with earphones. There are lots of things that you can do to help increase your courteousness in the backcountry. So being considerate of others and helping them have a good time will also help when it comes back around to you and you have a good time. So be considerate of others. I want to mention this last one. This is a possible 8th edition, or my edition, the Bear Outfitters number 8 of the Leave No Trace principles. Don't share your spots on social media. Now, what I mean by that is show that you had a great time. But the problem is there are so many places out there in the backcountry that are being overloved because we geotag them, we put them on our social media, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of folks get that wanderlust and they want to go visit these places. Now, back in the day, there was kind of a community that would kind of police this. You know, certain places were guarded by the community. You know, certain people had to have a certain experience level before they even heard of some place. Stuff traveled by word of mouth and not by social media. There are lots of people that die every year because they're taking trips that they're not prepared for. And what it goes back to is, number 1, planning ahead and preparing. If you don't have the skills necessary to complete a trip safely, you shouldn't be on that trip. Now, I'm not a gatekeeper by any means, but I think that geotagging and sharing on social media is creating a lot of traffic in places that didn't used to get in. So be careful with the locations that you really love, because what happens if they get shared on social media is that they'll get more traffic, and inevitably it will destroy the place that you love because it is so far-flung or is so quiet or is so secluded from other people. Now, that's not the case everywhere, and I don't mean to shut down people's trips, but be careful with what you're sharing on social media and make sure that you're not sharing it and sharing your own irresponsible actions and thinking that you're getting away with it. There are lots of people, like I said, that die every year because they're taking trips that they're not prepared for. So plan ahead, prepare, think about what you're posting on social media before you post it. That's number 8, just as a thought. So I hope that you had a great time. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that these principles will become part of your camping tradition and part of your camping ethos. So the 7 principles of Leave No Trace. I hope that you had a great time. Like and subscribe for more content. Until we see you guys next time, happy trails, everybody.